We're back here, legends of professional wrestling, right here with the Boston Bad Boy. That's right, you got it. This week, we have a premier Japanese wrestler, Professor Toru Tanaka, Hiya Maga, Tanaka and Fuji, and some of the other great Japanese wrestlers. They have been Mitsu Awakawa, Mr. Fuji, Toru Tanaka. All the names go on and on. Jushin Thunder Liger from Japan. But this jacket right here, this ring jacket, that's right, was worn by Professor Toru Tanaka. And this week, on Legends of Professional Wrestling, it's Professor Toru Tanaka! Hey, we're back here. We're back better than ever. Thank you, all you people out there in TV land. This is not a figment of your TV imagination. It's Rocky Raymond, the Boston Bad Boy, back better than ever. 12th than ever. We're ticking and talking. We're sticking and walking right here. That's right, right here on your source of community cable, Revere TV. That's right. You remember us all, remember us all. We got it right here. And this week, the Toru Tanaka. Mr. Professor Toru Tanaka, as you well know, with Mr. Fuji, held all the belts and all the territories he was in. His name was Charles J. Kalani Jr. You believe it? His name was Charles. It wasn't Toro. Come on, all you Mizarks out there. And all the great things. We know he was a professional boxer. Did people know that? Also, he played in college. He played football. He did a lot of things you wouldn't even know that he did, but he was a man of many, many things. And he was born January 6, 1930 in Honolulu, Hawaii. Oh, yeah. Great part of the world down there in Hawaii. And, you know, he was 5'11", known as Professor Toru Tanaka. And this week, you might want to set your machines or whatever with some great matches from the Boston Garden, as well as some great things that he did all over the world, as well as all the other things. But I want to read to you a couple of things about Professor Toru Tanaka. When he was in the tag team, 1969, him and it wasn't Mr. Fuji or Mr. Saito, it was Mitsu Awakawa. And the day, it was way back in 1969, and Tony Marino and Victor Rivera were the tag team champions, and they beat Tanaka and Mitsu Awakawa way back in the day. And then some of the other great things that he had with many title runs. Mostly in the 1970s to 73, it was Tanaka and Fuji against all the great names like Tony Garea and Dean Ho, all the great names. And basically right here, won by Professor Toru Tanaka and Mr. Fuji, Chief J. Strongbone, Sonny King. It was in Philly, PA, 6/27/1972. Then won by Tony Garea and Haystack Calhoun. I believe it was Tanaka and Fuji. They beat, and it was in Hamburg. Most of the TV tag team matches were done in Hamburg, and that was 05, 30, 1973. You know, all these numbers I can't, you notice me looking down is because I am reading from the paper. Yes, I am. And Tanaka and Fuji won by, and then Tony Garea Haystack Calhoun in Philly, PA on 9/14/73. Then it was Tony Garea and Dean Ho beat Tanaka and Fuji in Hamburg again on 11/14/73. Then, of course, the Valiants took over. Handsome Jimmy, Luscious Johnny came into the pictures with, the matches with Dominic DeNucci and all those great guys. And, it was just unbelievable. Victor Rivera and Tony Marino were the first tag team champions, I believe. And then it went back to Tanaka and Mitsu Awakawa. But let's go back to 69. And all the great tag teams. We got a lot of stuff on the Garden this week. But it was a great time, and all the Japanese wrestlers that came about. In Tennessee, it was Mr. Tojo. And then you had different areas. Tanaka went to Florida. He wrestled Bruno in St. Pete. Fuji was from Hawaii. He was down there in that area. Then he came up here, tagged with Tanaka, Saito. Great. It was like everything else. We had the Russian teams. We had the Cowboys and Indians. We had, the Germans. We had them all, the von Hesses, the von Steigers, all the managers, all the crazy days, because they went with the times of history. World War III, we had all that Germans and stuff like that, so they brought that into the picture. Then it was Russia, it was superpowers, you know, Dusty Rhodes and I guess it was, they were calling it the superpowers with Nikita Koloff. Yeah, Nikita Koloff was, they're trying to put the superpowers here, you know what I'm saying? But they always used, you know, things that were on the news. The Cowboys against the Indians, like in the old days. Everyone loves a John Wayne movie. We call that big move in wrestling the Big John Wayne. All right, we want to thank our big sponsors down here in Revere. That's right, Bob's. Smash him and crash him, bring him to Bob's, he'll fix him and trick him. Right here in Revere. Be there, be square. Don't forget to go to Bob's. If you get an accident, he can fix anything. All right, let's go to the part of the program right now. We're going to show some great pictures. And we're going to talk about some great pictures, and then we're going to go to Mac Classics, the book from New York, and talk about much more. So stay right there. All right, we're back here. Legends of Professional Wrestling, right here. Empire Pro Wrestling brings you the best, so forget the rest. We're right here at our studio, our beautiful studio in Revere. And we're going to be in Saugus, so we're going to be over there in Malden, wherever you can watch us. You're only able to see us on cable. Now we're going to show you some great pictures from around the world with Professor Tanaka and Mr. Fuji. This particular picture goes way back to the 70s, 72, 73, somewhere around there when Professor Toru Tanaka, Mr. Fuji won the belts. Could have been from anybody. Could have been any of those teams I talked about earlier, Dean Ho, Tony Garea, Calhoun, and Garea. Then we had, you know, of course, the Larry Zbyszko and Tony Garea days. But those are the great days of wrestling. I'm going to show you some more great pictures of Tanaka and Fuji. All right, here's another one of Tanaka and Fuji, the early days. And Mr. Fuji, Professor Tanaka, was a premier tag team in the WWF. And here's one, a good old young Rocky Raymond. I don't even know what town that was, but as you can see, I still had a couple of strands left on my head, so it'll be back in the day. So that's Tanaka and Mr. Raymond. Here's one roaming around the arena, Professor Toru Tanaka. As you can see, that stocky built and the big shoulders and broad arms. This man, if he chopped you, he chopped you. And there's another one of Mr. Fuji and Professor Toru Tanaka donning the Worldwide Wrestling Federation Tag Team Championship. Another one with Tanaka and Fuji. I think that's another angle of that picture we had in the opening of Tanaka and Fuji. So many pictures. And then we got Bruno Sammartino, I believe, with Professor Toru Tanaka. That might have been Boston Garden, I believe. And then we got another one, Boston Garden. As you can see, that top picture, Professor Tanaka, he got slammed with the chair. Oh boy, sent him reeling down the steps and on his back. And that was the end of the professor for that night. Another one, yeah, nice black and white pictures. These pictures go back in the day, some of the old magazines. I think this one comes out of the Bruno book with all the matches that Bruno had and all his opponents in many places of the country. There's been Japan, Australia. Tanaka wrestled Bruno everywhere, whether it be St. Pete in Florida, whether it be Boston Garden, Madison Square Garden, anywhere in between. California, they may have wrestled at Roy Shaw's area. Might have been down there with St. Louis and Sam Muchnick's area. There's so many areas back in the day. Days of the territories, which I'm going to read them off later on in the part of the program before the Mac Classics. We're going to read some territorial days. Here's one. This was, I believe, Channel 56 TV, I believe, when Bruno Sammartino and Professor Toru Tanaka wrestled Pedro Morales. They were setting up that tag team match, and what happened was Tanaka may have thrown salt in Bruno's eyes, and Pedro got salt from Fuji, and they end up fighting each other, which we're going to talk about a little later, in that Shea Stadium battle with Bruno versus Pedro. Another shot of Tanaka and Bruno. And another one of Rocky Raymond and another show with Professor Toru Tanaka. Oh, here we go, Mr. Fuji. I know this one. This was at the Haverhill outdoor show we had many years ago with Savannah Souza. Brought all the big names in Snooker, the Samoans, Fuji, Bundy, then Beefcake. Oh, he didn't show up, that Miyagi. And then we had a lot of great matches, and here's one with Mr. Fuji and Rocky Raymond, not Tanaka. What are you, blind? All right, we got Monsoon with Mr. Fuji in the match. That looks like it could have been Sunnyside Garden. And another same match, I believe it was. Sunnyside Garden had that low roof. Mr. Fuji against Gorilla Monsoon, another master of the chop. And then we got Mr. Fuji on the ring apron with the spoiler. How many people remember the spoiler? And here's another one with Pedro Morales and Professor Toru Tanaka with the reverse headlock on Pedro. And here's one with the elbow down across the throat. I believe that might be Victor Rivera. And Pedro Morales going for the Boston Crab on Tanaka. And Morales hitting Fuji with that uppercut. Off the top rope, they used to call that the Fuji. Everyone does it now. Flair used to do it. They all did it. But it was marked after the Fuji. And then that's Professor Toru Tanaka with Victor Rivera. I believe that might be Madison Square Garden. And then we got Strongbow, the Indian Chief Jay Strongbow, known in some circles way, way back in the day as Joe Scarpa. And here's his match with Mr. Fuji with the pectoral clamps, if you will. Andre the Giant with Tanaka. Tanaka in the corner. Tanaka was no joke. He chopped down the old big oak tree. Let me tell you, he was no joke, Professor Toru Tanaka. Same match, and Andre gets the hand. Big hand of Andre the Giant, boy. If he grabs your hand and twists it, you're in problems. And here's one Haystack Calhoun with, I believe, I might be Mr. Fuji and Tanaka with Haystack Calhoun and Tony Garea battles, maybe. And there's Dean Ho. Dean Ho and Tony Garea, they were the tag team champions. And they wrestled Tanaka and Fuji on many occasions. Here we go, another one with Professor Toru Tanaka, and I believe that might be Strongbow. Sonny the Showboat King with Mr. Fuji. Yep, the Showboat, Sonny King with Mr. Fuji. And right there you see Tanaka wrapped up in the ropes with the old, I can't get out of here. All right. Oh, we're back here, Everyday TV, can you believe it? Again. 6 times champions, the Patriots. They came back from, they came around, they went back, they went, they had a great season, right? We are the champions again. We're the Super Bowl champions right there, whether it was Brady, whether it was, and little man, that animal looks like the Dynamite Kid with a beard. He's all pumped up and going through left and right, all the great things that were happening. What about the touchdown guy, Michelle? Whoom, right in there so fast, it was unbelievable. But don't forget to watch Legends of Pro Wrestling, as well as the best of EPW. That's right, on Wednesday night. Don't forget to watch us over in Saugus. We might be on in Malden. We might be on in Lynn. We might be on, who knows? They're only able to see us on cable. Be there with Rocky Raymond, the Boston Bad Boy. Bruno Sammartino, and I can't believe that I'm with my 8mm camera, Super 8 right here. Bruno, this is the camera I took all the film. You got to hold it in your hand.
That's amazing, because I've seen some of the films you've taken, and it's hard to believe. I'm not very knowledgeable when it comes to these cameras, but it's hard to believe at all that you've shot and what fantastic work it came out of this little camera.
It's unbelievable. My friend Danny Garbett, I'd like you to say hi to Mr. Danny Garbett, because he used to carry the tripod for me up to the ring.
Is that right? Danny, how are you? I'll tell you. So you were part of this, and that's great, because guys did a phenomenal job.
And we're coming to Boston. The legend, Bruno Sammartino, be there or be square. Okay, here's another one. Here's a big one. August 22nd, 1980. Bruno Sammartino against Mr. Fuji. Mr. Fuji with those educated hands now, double oblique shot, putting the boots, I should say the feet to Sammartino. As you know, these Oriental wrestlers do not wear footgear. Oh, there's a big karate kick to the throat of Sammartino. Fuji putting the boots to him like nobody's business. Armbar now, twisting Sammartino over. You gotta watch out for these Orientals. They'll never come up with a bag of salt. Throw it in your eyes. And Sammartino comes back now, Irish whip off the ropes. Big elevation back, body drop, sending Mr. Fuji. Big arm drag now by Sammartino, as he's in control of the match. Off the ropes again now, big shoulder tackle now. Mr. Fuji sent railing back into the arm drag, as you know, Sammartino working one part of the body, working down the man. Fuji shoots him in again. Another tackle by Sammartino. Hip toss, no avail. Reversal by Sammartino. Kick out by Fuji. Oh, a big drop kick by Bruno Sammartino. You don't see that much. Arm drag on Fuji. Unbelievable. Bruno Sammartino with a flying drop kick. You won't see that much. Big slam now, no, with Fuji. Big slam on San Martino. Kick out now by San Martino. Drop kick by Mr. Fuji. And an arm draw again by San Martino, working that arm. Bruno San Martino, the living legend. Shooting off the ropes now, Fuji, another shoulder tackle now. San Martino crisscrossing. San Martino up now, rolls over the back of Fuji. Victory roll, no, Fuji holds on. Nobody home. Fuji, nobody home. San Martino with another big arm drag. Unbelievable mat action from the Boston Garden. These are the great mat classics. You won't see these in any video store, and you won't catch them on the Entertainment Network for sale either. You can only get them at the Mat Classics headquarters. You got the volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The best of Bruno 1 and 2. The best of Superstar Billy Graham. Oh, double oblique shot by Mr. Fuji. Those educated fists now. And those oriental kicks to the chest now. Bruno San Martino. Fuji working on the trapeze muscle. And we got all the great ones. We got the best of Bob Backlund. Oh, yeah. The best of the Valiant brothers. Handsome Jimmy Lesser's Johnny. Gentleman Jerry. San Martino with a big scoop slam on Mr. Fuji. And Fuji with those educated hands. Double karate chop. And a knife edge across the throat of San Martino. Another kick to the midsection now. San Martino into that corner. Oh, unbelievable action. He hit that corner buckle. And Fuji now with the karate chops to the back of the neck of San Martino. And a big boot to the midsection of Mr. Fuji. And San Martino turning on hot and heavy. A heavy blow to the side of the head. A heavy, heavy knee. But he can't stop the moves of Mr. Fuji. A double boot to the chest of Mr. Fuji. Another big, deep boot to the midsection, sending Fuji railing. San Martino in the corner now. Another knee. And San Martino a couple of heavy right blows to the head. Another big boot sending Fuji railing. And another heavy blow to the side of the head. Fuji with another double oblique shot and that educated feet. Karate chops, whipping San Martino into the corner. Oh, nobody home. Fuji might have hit that steel post. And there's the cover. It's all over. The living legend, Bruno San Martino. Another victory over Mr. Fuji. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Revere TV, Empire Pro Wrestling, all the great things. Whether it's here, there, everywhere. It might be Saugus, it might be Malden, it might be Lynn, it might be Everett. You never know where we're going to go. So remember one thing. If you want to see the best there is in independent wrestling, let me tell you, all the great names that have been there, the Warlord, Demolition, the Bushwhackers. Oh, yeah, we had them all here. We've had all the big names, whether it be the Iron Sheik, cameraman, zoom in on these. Well, we can't say what he says, but number one thing, if you want to see the best there is in independent wrestling, we ride them all, we've shot them all, and remember, we got some great new shows coming up, so tune in on Wednesday night. Keep it right, keep it tight, from 8 to 9 and 9 to 10. Legends might be on, the best of EPW will be on, and of course the Mat Classics from the Boston Garden, all those great matches from the old timers. I was watching one the other day with the Valiant Brothers in a battle royal with Andre the Giant. Then you had Gorilla Monsoon go against, hey, Judge the Animal Steel. Rest in peace, all those guys are up there wrestling up there. But remember one thing, watch us each and every week. Wednesday night from 8 to 9. 9 to 10, do it all over again on Saturdays from 12 to 1 and 1 to 2. And remember, watch out, because Big Rico might jump in. Is he behind me? Where is he? I don't know where he might be, but he's in the bowels of Calcutta, in the mountains of the bush. He might be cutting people's throat and drinking their blood right now. But remember, Rico Man is on the horizon. Beware, beware, beware. And we're back here, Bruno San Martino against the Professor Toru Tanaka, one of the most deadliest men in the ring, martial arts champion. Unbelievable as Bruno San Martino's going to have his hands full tonight with this man from the Orient, the devious Professor Toru Tanaka. Watch it, Bruno. And there's the bell now for our wrestling action on the Mat Classics here from the Boston Garden. And San Martino Tanaka collar and elbow as they're just cinching in on each other, feeling each other out at the beginning of this match. And Tanaka pushes San Martino back to the ropes now with a clean break. And San Martino, will he break clean? More than likely. And Tanaka hit him with a karate chop. Going in for that deadly chokehold now, as you can see him hiding it from our referee, Mario Savoli. Professor Toru Tanaka, unbelievable with the chokeholds, the jiu-jitsu, the karate. Many of you may know Professor Tanaka. Oh, there's a heavy blow to the windpipe now of San Martino as he's using that karate on Bruno San Martino. The crowd not liking Professor Tanaka here in Boston. Professor Tanaka and Mitsu Arakawa, the tag team champions, and you might remember Professor Tanaka and Mr. Fuji, the tag team champions. And Tanaka now laying him in hot and heavy on Bruno San Martino as he misses that deadly chop in the corner now. Bruno choking in the corner now by Tanaka. And another judo chop, and another one to the pectoral muscle now of Bruno San Martino. Tanaka getting a big boot to the midsection now, and he lands the turnbuckle. San Martino coming back in the ring now. Big boot to the midsection of Professor Tanaka. And followed up by a big right hand. Bruno San Martino and Professor Tanaka, no strangers in the ring. And a big boot and followed up by another one as San Martino comes on strong. Heavy, heavy boots to Tanaka. And a right hand in the midsection. And the crowd loves it here in Boston. Professor Toru Tanaka, you gotta watch out for him. Watch out for that jiu-jitsu. There they go, those quick karate chops. You can hardly see the speed behind him. So fast that he's working on the trapeze muscle now. Professor Toru Tanaka. Oh, another heavy judo chop to the trapeze muscle of Bruno San Martino. And San Martino fighting back those chops with the right blows to the midsection. And he's got that ice picks on him on his own. San Martino working on the trapeze muscle of Professor Toru Tanaka. And Mario Savoli making the count now. Big knee to the back of the neck of Tanaka, and San Martino using those feet. And he got him in the corner now with the rights and the lefts and the heavy blows to the midsection, one to the head now. Tanaka rocking and reeling in the corner, and San Martino not giving up. Oh, did you see that chop? That quick karate chop. He's going down into the tights. What does he have? He's got some kind of object. Oh, he's got salt. He threw the salt in the eyes of Mario Savoli. And that'll be a direct disqualification immediately as Bruno's going crazy in the corner. He's like a wild bull. He won't stop on Professor Tanaka. Right hand to the head, to the jaw, heavy boots. Tanaka out on his feet now. They're calling for help from the back now to stop Bruno San Martino. Unbelievable. The winner by disqualification, the living legend, Bruno San Martino.
We're right here. Oh yeah, you were right here with the ladies EPW champion. Can you believe it? She's right here at Revere TV, your source of community cable with who? The Boston bad boy, Rocky Raymond. That's right. Keep it tight. Keep it here each and every night on Wednesday nights. And Wednesday night we got all the time slots. What are they, Amber?
8 to 9.
That's right. And that's the legends of pro wrestling. And then from 9 to 10 we got what? Empire Pro Wrestling from 9 to 10, and we're doing it right here with who? The ladies EPW champion. Can you believe it? Wow. I mean, I'm just elated to have you here in Revere. I can't believe it. I touched that belt. It's unbelievable. You did a great job, and you're coming back right here. And we wanted to watch it with who? The ladies EPW champion. Tell them, Amber. Tell them.
Come down and see me retain this belt August 20th at the Marshfield Fair.
Be there.
And it's Professor Toru Tanaka, Mr. Fuji against Tony Garea and Larry Zbyszko here in the Boston Garden, the Great Mat Classics. Oh yeah, we got another big one coming at you. Hope you like the tape so far. The great footage of the Mat Classics from the Boston Garden as Fuji does a double chop to the side of the head of Tony Garea. Reversal now. Big heavy blow to the midsection of Mr. Fuji. And Mr. Fuji finds out that Tony Garea and Larry Zbyszko are quite a young tag team here in the Boston Garden. Drop down now, Fuji. Garea over the top and slams Tanaka. Fuji takes another one on the jaw. And Larry Zbyszko anxiously waiting on the apron here. The beautiful Boston Garden. Down goes Garea, over the top goes Fuji. And Larry Zbyszko says no, no, no. But Garea tags him now. And they're playing catch with Mr. Fuji back and forth. And it's Larry Zbyszko. Tony Garea with the upper hand here. With our referee Eddie Santa Maria right here at the beautiful Boston Garden. Better known now as the Fleet, if you will. Fleet Bank, I don't know. They change the names periodically now. as we change our clothes, and we're back to the action in the ring now. It's Professor Toru Tanaka and the young Larry Zbyszko, and they're going round and round again now. Korea after Fuji. This could be the cat chases the rat game, if you will, and they're going at it around and round again. And Mr. Fuji, oh no, Korea! I tell you, Mr. Fuji, the land of the rising sun, if you will, got his tights pulled down again. And we hope you enjoyed the best of the Via Brothers here from the Boston Garden Great Mac Classics. Presented to you by Rocky Raymond, like only Rocky Raymond can, because he's got the footage. Tanaka and Fuji now, as they, again, looking up to the lights. And Fuji into the obliques now of Larry Zbyszko. Big heavy karate foot to the midsection. And Fuji now with those heavy karate blows to the back of the head of Larry Zbyszko. Balled up by those educated feet. And that's right, Tanaka and Fuji, one of the most deadly tag teams in all of professional wrestling. Going back to Tanaka and Fuji, as well as Mitsu Arakawa and Professor Toru Tanaka, some of the great Japanese wrestlers that came into the Boston Garden, wrestled for the titles, all the great tag teams, whether it was that, Crazy Little Graham, Tyler, the Russians. As you know, this is the best of the Via Brothers. We're going to see some great action of some other tag teams that went out to the Boston Garden. Whether it be Larry Zbyszko, Garea, as you see in the ring now, as Tanaka takes a heavy forearm smash off the ropes by Garea. Big drop kick now, sending Mr. Fuji railing. And a second one, but nobody home. Fuji now setting him up for that big one. The kamikaze clothesline by Mr. Fuji. There we go. And that's going to do it for Garea. The kamikaze clothesline. Mr. Fuji and Professor Toru Tanaka here in the Boston Garden, and Zbyszko looking on at Garea, and they can't believe the devastation of that move now. Fuji and Tanaka, double oblique shot on both sides, working on those kidneys now. It's Professor Toru Tanaka. Look at the trickery. Look at the quick tags. Look how they cut the ring in half and keep their men in their corner. That's what they call tag team wrestling. Tag team like it was in the old days of professional wrestling. Side headlock now by Mr. Fuji. Oh, they both go into a collision now, and Fuji almost went outside the ring on that hardwood floor. As you know, they play basketball, hockey here at the Boston Garden. This was back in the days where there was no pads around the ring. And Tony Garea with a hard blow to Tanaka. Professor Toru Tanaka, you might remember him in some of the James Bond movies, as well as the Chuck Norris movies, Professor Toru Tanaka. And Zbyszko got him tied in the ropes by Fuji, trying to come in and help his partner, but to no avail. And our referee, Eddie Santa Maria. Oh, there's a big move by Zbyszko. And it looks like Garea's going up to that top rope with that big sunset flip off the top. Oh, there you have it. The big giant sunset flip off the top rope. And it's tied at one fall apiece. It's Tony Garea and Larry Zbyszko. And Fuji starting the match with Garea. As you know, those educated hands of Tanaka and Fuji, as well as those, they got those ice picks down on the neck of Garea. Working on the nerve muscles. And Mr. Fuji now in the ring with Tony Garea. Quick tag to Tanaka. And here comes Larry Zbyszko. How's the fire now? Professor Toru Tanaka, a couple of forearms, one shoulder tackle off the ropes. Sent down, another one by Larry Zbyszko. Oh, nobody home this time. Caught the corner like a brick wall. It's all over. Tanaka Fuji.
My fellow Americans, we're gathered here today at one of the best times of the year. Super Bowl. Super Bowl. You believe it? 6 times. 6 times champions. That's right. You better believe it. Whether it be Brady, whether it be Michelle, whether it be, all the other great guys. That's right. Edelman, the little animal, going in and out like the Dynamite Kid, all pumped up, and all the great things that were happening. Gronk, he got hit, but you know something? He's a big man. You never know. You might see him in pro wrestling soon, so don't forget to watch the best of the best. Maybe you'll see Gronk come up here. You never know. You never know. The connections are right. The connections are tight. You're here with the Boston Bad Boy tonight on Revere TV, Saugus TV, Lynn TV, Malden TV, Rosendale, Boston. We've been on them all. We might be going flipping and dipping. Watch us for the fair too, Bangor, Marshfield. Oh yeah, it might be anywhere in between as well as Brockton. We're gonna go everywhere this summer, so watch us on the best of Empire Pro Wrestling on Wednesday night, as well as the Legends, that's right. Watch them, they're back-to-back. Watch them all over again on Saturday with who? The Boston Bad Boy, Rocky Raymond. Be there or be square. And we're back here. It's Mr. Fuji against High Chief Peter Maiva. Half of the tag team of Professor Tanaka and Mr. Fuji, and half of the tag team of Maiva and Strongbow. And the High Chief goes to a ceremonial, and Fuji goes in and catches one of his own. And it's Maiva and Fuji now, as Fuji got caught with a chop on the top of his head. It's High Chief Peter Maiva and Mr. Fuji. The Mad Classics, the legends of professional wrestling from the Boston Garden, Fuji and Maiva. And a big hammer on the back of Mr. Maiva, and an eye rake by Mr. Fuji. And our referee for this one with his afro, if you will, Mario Savoldi. And you see Fuji putting those big boots to the back of the High Chief Peter Maiva. Down with the ice picks now, working on the trapeze muscle. It's Mr. Fuji. And High Chief Peter Maiva trying to find his way to his feet. And Fuji crashes down with a karate chop. Putting those ice picks on now. And it's High Chief with a big scoop, but it falls back to a flying body press. And it's a 2 count now by Mr. Fuji. And Maiva now finds himself on the receiving end of some heavy blows. Comes back with a chop of his own off the ropes now. Catches him with a big shoulder tackle. Fuji sent railing off the ropes again. Fuji. Oh, he caught that corner post. And Mr. Fuji gets shoot off the ropes again. Big shoulder tackle now. Fuji hits the crisscross. Big back body drop by Maiva into a big headbutt, but nobody home. Fuji moves out of the way, puts a big boot to the back of the head of the High Chief. Followed up by another headbutt by Maiva. And it looks like Mr. Fuji, nobody home, side headlock, shoots him in again. One tackle, Fuji railing, and they're both down now. Double count out. Crowd here in Boston. Coming into the ring now, it's Professor Tanaka and Mr. Fuji against High Chief Peter Maivia and Chief Jay Strongbow, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions, Tanaka and Fuji, a premier tag team here in the WWF. And it's Tanaka Maiva, but they're going to let Tanaka do his ceremonial salt ceremony here. And Eddie Santa Maria is going to let Maiva do his ceremony. Oh yeah, the Samoan, High Chief Peter Maiva, the grandfather of The Rock, if you will. And it's Professor Tanaka and High Chief Peter Maiva. Here's the wrestling action now. Tanaka, oh! Wild chop by Tanaka, nobody home. As Strongbow plays a little do-si-do. And Tanaka wants to know what's going on here. And for a full Nelson by High Chief Peter Maiva. And Fuji comes running in. Catches his own partner with a chop. And it's Tanaka with a full Nelson on Maiva. Oh, he caught him again now. Fuji and Tanaka off the mark here tonight on the best of Chief Jay Strongbow. Oh yeah, we're halfway through. We got another half for you. It's Strongbow and Tanaka in the middle of the ring now. And it's Chief Jay Strongbow shooting to the ropes now by Tanaka. A little crisscross. And he says, stop, look at the highlight. Oh, he caught him with a chop. And Strongbow and, oh, it looks like Tanaka and Fuji are really off the mark tonight. Side headlock now by Maivia. A little crisscross now as Fuji and Maivia. Oh, no, this isn't going to work on Maivia. And Fuji caught. And they're both going to catch a chop now. Oh, Maiva and Strongbow. Tanaka and Fuji not really on it tonight. And Strongbow with a side headlock now. And they're running around now. Fuji's running back and forth. Oh, looks like Maiva got the pants of Fuji down. Trying to pants him. Trying to pants him here tonight. The land of the rising sun, if you will. The moon is out tonight. And Mr. Fuji rubbing against that turnbuckle. Oh, good God. And Strongbow now in the ring now with Mr. Fuji. A little crisscross now, and Fuji and Strongbow. Strongbow down with the baseball slide. Oh, catches him with a big chop, and Fuji sent reeling. Strongbow going to that war dance. Don't get him going. Don't get him going. Throwing that war dance in with a tomahawk chop. Before you know it, you'll be in the sleeper now as Tanaka catches Strongbow now. And Maiva gets attacked by Strongbow, and Maiva comes in hot and heavy. Couple of chops of his own now. Headbutt. Another one by Maivia. A big headbutt sending Fuji now. And another one on Tanaka. 1, 2, 3. And the first fall of the match goes to Maiva and Strongbow, and now Tanaka getting chopped by Maivia. Irish whip into the corner now by the High Chief, and Tanaka catches him now. Catches him with a shuka. And Tanaka catches him with a deadly chop. Choking him, a blatant chokehold by Tanaka. Tanaka was known for his moves like this, these chokeholds. And Fuji's right in there choking away on Strongbow. And Tanaka hits Maiva with another chop, and it looks like the big tab by Maivia. Strongbow in the ring now. And Tanaka, oh, another thrust to the throat of Chief J Strongbow. They're choking away on Strongbow. Fuji in the corner. Maiva over the top rope. This is getting out of control here. Tanaka on Strongbow. Strongbow, a blatant chokehold. Fuji backing him up. Oh, right into the throat. Strongbow looks like he's going for the cover. 1, 2. The referee calling for the bell. And they're going to disqualify Tanaka and Fuji. The winner of the fall of the match, High Chief Peter Maivia and Chief J Strongbow.
We're right here with the Soul Brother, the Battle Bowl champion, baby.
First time ever.
And we want to tell you something very serious.
Yeah, let's get serious.
I want to talk to all you bullies out there that are bullying people on Facebook, bullying people that you know aren't going to give you any bullying back. But let me tell you something. I want you to stop bullying and be human.
Stop.
Help your friends.
That's right.
Keep it nice. Keep
right.
it right.
Keep
And
it right.
watch Empire Pro Wrestling on Wednesday nights from 8 to 9 and 9 to 10. You got it all. You got EPW. You got Legends. You got it all. And you got it right here with me and my man.
All right.
The
the
sweet
Soul Man.
The sweet Soul Brother. And the Boston Bad Boy, the only one.
I have watched this man, Toru Tanaka, do this in the past. He is currently managed by Gorgeous George Jr. Exactly what will we be seeing?
Well, as you see right in front of you right here, Gordon Solie, you have 8 1.5-inch, well, 1-inch boards, which Professor Tanaka, we call him Professor Tanaka because he is the teacher of the martial arts. He will strike these boards with his elbow, some with his head. He will break blocks with his head, and it's going to really be something impressive, and it's something that I want all you millions of fans out there to view for free. You don't have to pay to come to see this, and I know there's a lot of shut-ins that need to see something like this, and out of the kindness and goodness of my big heart, this is what I want to do. So at this opportunity, I'd like to bring in the professor and let him demonstrate to you. Excuse me, Gordon.
Surely.
And I will talk to you as he is doing this.
These are all solid boards here.
Very solid boards.
Well, I can certainly see that, yes.
See yourself. Tanaka right now is setting himself. He is concentrating deeply.
So you said American board is number one good.
Okay, that's American boards right there. And he says American boards are number 1 good.
This here, that's the man, boy. Say, more better book one time, more better this way there.
You know, you can take a big man and you
Not
can
the
have
level.
him do something like this, and possibly a real huge man could do this. But a man Tanaka's size, who is 285 pounds, and you consider him a big man, can do it with just a slight snap of the elbow. Watch his head now. Can you imagine anybody in their right mind signing a contract to step into the ring to wrestle against the master?
Four this time, more better here.
Now, this is 4 with the head right now. Would have to be completely out of their minds. I hope you people out there in TV land are enjoying what you are now seeing, because this is one of the rare times that he will do this. Now, you see right what do we have right here, Mr. Solie? We have a solid 2-inch piece of cement block, and Tanaka is going to do something really remarkable right now.
Well, Toru Tanaka apparently getting set to break the concrete.
That's a very good observation. With his head. With his head. Watch closely now. Many times, Tanaka.
Using the elbow very effectively, and
So, people, number one break, it is number one tough. But I know what happens when I do something to opponent. The opponent's head, the body, bones, are not like a break.
He studies the human anatomy. He finds out where certain vital organs are in the body, and then he learns and learns, and he knows just when. There's certain times of the month, there's certain times of the year that certain organs of the body are more vulnerable than at other times.
All right, we're back here. We wanted to bring this to your attention, all these pay-per-views and all these shows around and all these things going on. But I want to bring something to your attention. If you remember the match between the Worldwide Wrestling Federation champion, it was released by them, that the champion at that time, I believe it was Morales, and it was wrestling Bruno. And they announced, Vince McMahon announced, the gross as of that particular day was $141,345, which was sort of incredible. And they started the gross record, and they beat the gross record of Chicago, which they had broken, had been 136,345. A recent letter which we came into possession of from the Illinois Commission state that the gross of the 1961 Chicago card was 128,071.74. That was the situation with that. And then the San Martino Morales match drew 22,000 people, 508 people, and the fans paid $140,923, and they were hoping to get 40,000 people at that show, but the weather was kind of cold, and for September it wasn't a great thing. But for 1972, I mean, it was a great drawing card, and I don't think it's been broke in the Chicago area, I believe. I mean, I may be wrong. You may check me out somewhere that I may be. If I am, I am, but if I'm not, I'm not. So I don't think I am. And I wanted to bring something to your attention, too, on some of you wrestling fans that are following me now for the several times. Don't forget to watch me on YouTube. If you want to watch any of the shows on YouTube, just go to Rocky Raymond, Wrestler, Rocky Raymond, Legends of Pro Wrestling, I believe it's up there under. But all the shows are up there from the beginning of, I believe, when I started promoting in '83, all the way up to now, all the fairs, all the shows, all the fundraisers, everything that I've done is up there. Thanks to the help of my helper here at the studio. Very, very great help from him. And I just want to read the territories, the wrestling offices that were around back in the day, just to let you people know. There was the Florida office, Championship Wrestling from Florida, 106 North Albany Street, Florida, Mass. Eddie Graham Promotions. Then you had the Carolinas Promotions with Jim Cornette promoting. The 421 Bravo Drive, Charlotte, North Carolina. That was the Jim Crockett promotion, as you well know, came NWA, as well as later on became WCW. Then you had the Maritimes and Eastern Sports Association in New Brunswick, Canada. Al Zink was the promoter. Then you had the Detroit office with the Farhat Enterprises. That was in Michigan, and that was run by Eddie Farhat, the original Sheik. Then you had the Calgary office, which we all know was run by Alberta, Canada area with Stu Hart, Bret the Hitman's father. Albuquerque office, which was out of New Mexico with Mike Lundas.
London was the promoter. Georgia office with Jim Barnett, which was the biggest name that turned wrestling around, helped Vince McMahon with all the studios and turned it over to the national attention that wrestling got by helping out Vince by selling out Georgia Championship Wrestling, the interest of Jack Briscoe and Jerry Briscoe, as well as Paul Jones. That was Georgia Championship Wrestling out of Atlanta, Georgia, and the promoter was Jim Barnett. Now, Gulf Coast was Gulf Coast Wrestling, run by Lee Fields. He was the promoter. And then we had Central States, Heart of America, Sports Attraction. That was Kansas City, Missouri, run by Bob Geigel. And South California, Hollywood Wrestling Office, run by Mike LaBelle. Oklahoma office, Leo McGurk. Bill Watts was the booker, and later became Mid-Atlantic, I believe. Pacific Coast Northwest, Owens Sports Entertainment, I believe, and that was run by Don Owens, which was the Pacific Northwest, and had a lot of great names come out of there. North California Booking Company, Roy Shaw Promotions. Then we had East Texas with Fritz Von Erich's Southwest Sports and Company, which was known as Dallas, Texas, with the World Class Championship Wrestling with the Von Erich boys. Then we had West Texas, which was run by Sports Unlimited, and that was in Amarillo, Texas, by Dory Funk Jr. St. Louis was another territory, St. Louis, Missouri, which was run by Sam Munchnick, which was a very popular. They had the wrestling from the Chase out of there. And then we had Toronto, Canada, which we all know, Tunney Sports, was run by Frank Tunney, which of course Vince gobbled them all up. AWA, we all know, was run by Vern Gagne, the Vern Gagne family in Minneapolis. West Virginia, Ohio, Ken Jugan was a smaller area in the Ohio area, as well as the Independent Carolinas, which was Johnny Hunter. Then we had Tennessee, which was the Ghoulish Wrestling Enterprises, and of course we had I believe the Jerry Lawler territory was part of Tennessee, and they split up. But those were the many, like that was the list that I sent all my pictures to, and sort of, try to get out to some of these places. Like, Florida was my first stop, and then, let's put it this way, there was no money back in the territory days unless you knew somebody. And of course, we all know what happened to these territories. Vince McMahon gobbled them all up. Gobbled them up like the Pac-Man that he is, and he's still going strong with it, but he sort of killed the territories. All right, that's a little something I wanted to, bring to your attention, because a lot of people are watching TV today and watching one show, and unfortunately, you're not getting to see all the other things on. Don't forget to watch New Japan on Friday night on Access TV. They have some great shows on there with all the great wrestlers from New Japan Pro Wrestling, with Tanahashi, all the great names. I mean, they go on and on. You got Kenny Omega down there, Okada. You got them all down there. Ishii, Mishi, all of them. You got so many of them. I can't remember all the names, but they go on and on. Godo, Mitsu Awakawa. No, that's a long time ago. But anyways, you watch it Friday nights, 8 o'clock on Access TV, and all the other great shows that are starting to come back on. And don't forget to watch us on YouTube. Best of the Legends, Best of Empire Pro Wrestling. All right, let's go to the other part now. Let's go to wrestling in the garden. Let's see if we can get a little something from the garden. All right, I know you guys love this one, wrestling from the garden. Oh yeah, the battles for New York. Works, shoots, and double crosses. You can say that again with wrestling. All right, we're going to give you a couple of things here from the garden. Madison Square Garden, September 1972. Attendance, 21,819. Drawing $101,000. WWF Heavyweight Title Match. Pedro Morales beat Ernie Ladd, 15:50. Bruno Sammartino beat George the Animal Steele, 12 minutes and 29 seconds. Chief J. Strongbow drew the spoiler in 11 minutes. That was the 11 p.m. curfew. And then we had the WWF Tag Team title match between Professor Toru Tanaka and Mr. Fuji beat Gorilla Monsoon and Manuel Soto. And basically 21 minutes and 41 seconds. Sonny King beat the Black Demon in 9 minutes and 54 seconds. Chuck O'Connor, who later became Big John Studd, beat Joe Nova in 15 minutes and 47 seconds. El Olympico drew Joe Turco, 13 minutes and 51 seconds. All right, let me pull out one more with this Tanaka and Fuji gimmick going on. And I believe, yes, okay. Madison Square Garden, November 27th, 1972. Attendance was 18,183. Can you believe it? Worldwide Wrestling Heavyweight Title Match. Pedro Morales beat George Steele, 11 minutes and 58 seconds. Match was stopped due to blood. Vern Gagne beat Buddy Wolf in 12 minutes and 51 seconds. Worldwide Wrestling Federation Tag Team Title Match. Professor Toru Tanaka and Mr. Fuji drew Gorilla Monsoon and Chief J Strongbow in 15 minutes. Victor Rivera drew the Spoiler in 20 minutes. Eddie Graham beat Black Jack Slane, 10 minutes and 14 minutes. Black Gorman beat Victor Person. Black Gorman beat Sonny King in 6 minutes and 25 seconds. Tony Garea beat Chuck O'Connor in 11:54. And El Olympico beat Joe Turco in 9 minutes and 14 seconds. And you can see on this card you had a couple of guys like Eddie Graham from Florida and Vern Gagne from the AWA. So back in 72, they weren't so vindictive. But when Junior came in, he gobbled them all up like Pac-Man. All right, that was our day in wrestling history. Wrestling in the Garden, the Battle for New York, works, shoots, and double crosses. All right, see you next time.
Here's one right now, Mr. Fuji. And I believe Gorilla Monsoon was supposed to be the opponent of Fuji, but an injury. And Bob Backlund filled in for Gorilla Monsoon. And it looks like Mr. Fuji now takes a chop by the Manchurian Giant. And there's the belt for our wrestling action. Fuji got Backlund in the ropes now, and they're going back and forth, top wrist lock to a hammerlock. And Fuji runs for the ropes again. And another reversal, and Fuji got that hammerlock now on the Princeton, Minnesota. And there's a double chop to the trapeze muscle by Mr. Fuji, putting the boot to the midsection, sending Bob Backlund railing. And it looks like a little pull of the tights now as Mr. Fuji works on that trapeze muscle. A devastating chop now. Backlund comes back with a shivering forearm now. A couple of shots of his known big knee lift now. And Mr. Fuji's starting to find out why Bob Backlund is the AAU champion in Minnesota. And they got him up now with that big atomic knee drop now. Fuji high in the air now. And it looks like the big one, yeah. And Fuji. And it's all over. Bob Backlund wins another fall in the match here in the Boston Garden, the Great Bat Classics. It's a big one. October 13th, 1979. Bob Backlund versus Pat Patterson. At that particular time, Pat Patterson was the North American champion, bringing in now, as well as Bob Backlund with the Worldwide Wrestling Federation Championship with his manager, the Golden Boy, Arnold Skolin. And there's the bell as Patterson starts to tie up with this grappler. And I do mean a grappler because Bob Backlund is a mat wrestler. And he's got him in that collar and elbow now, back to the ropes now. Pat Patterson trying to make an advantage. Oh, he swings a big right hand now. Backlund returns one of his own now. Patterson very deadly with that big boot to the midsection. And he's working on Backlund with those right hands. 2 or 3 now. Pat Patterson with those rifling right hands to the head. Followed up by another right to the jaw now. And Bob Backlund finds himself outside the ring. Patterson following. Oh, he rammed his head into that timekeeper's table. And you can see them outside the ring with this action now. It's Patterson, a dirty wrestler at this particular time here in Boston, coming to the Northeast from his great career out in L.A., California, as well as the Roy Shaw area. Tag team champions with the blonde bomber, Ray Stevens. Scooping up Backlund now for that scoop slam. Pat Patterson working on the lower lumbar. All that knee to the back of Bob Backlund. And Pat Patterson working on that back, driving those knees into the small of the back now, going in for a reverse headlock. And jumping down on the small of the back of Bob Backlund, working on that lower lumbar, trying to weaken the back. And Backlund comes back with a right hand of his own. They're going back and forth. And Backlund rams his head down on the canvas, and Patterson flips over. Oh, this is going to be a great match. Pat Patterson, the Intercontinental Champion, as well as Bob Backlund, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation. Irish whip into the corner now. And Patterson gets hung up on those ropes. Bob Backlund, the amateur-style wrestler from Princeton, Minnesota, coming to the Worldwide Wrestling Federation with some great background. And he's putting the boots now to Pat Patterson, hung up in those ropes. And Backlund pulls him out now, working on that leg, going behind for a big leg drop, it looks like. It's Bob Backlund in control of this match here at the Boston Garden. And they got Patterson reeling now. Another leg drop down across Pat Patterson. And Backlund pulls him back to the center of the ring now, working on that leg, trying to weaken Patterson. You take out the legs, you got no stability. Nothing to stand on. And Backlund now, that amateur style wrestling, working on the leg of Pat Patterson, pulls him to that corner post. Oh, looks like Patterson pushed him off there. And the second one now, Patterson getting his leg rammed up against that steel corner post. Backlund now, the leg stretcher on Pat Patterson, the Intercontinental Champion, as well as Bob Backlund, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation Champion. And Backlund comes back with a big elbow to the forehead now. Patterson looks to be in trouble here now as Bob Backlund working on that leg. This match is for the Worldwide Wrestling Federation at this particular time, 1979, October 13th. A great match classic from the Boston Garden, and Patterson and Backlund going back and forth. And it looks like a little off the rope action coming out, double collision. Patterson sent reeling, flipping over now. And Bob Backlund in control with a snap mid, hitting those ropes. Trying for a big splash, but Patterson puts his legs up. And both men now, he's trying for lateral presses, Pat Patterson, as well as falling back on Patterson. Now it's Backlund on top. Just a 2 count as this referee right in there for the cover. And then going back and forth with a couple of right hand blows to the side of the head of Backlund, Pat Patterson. And Bob Backlund coming back now. He's getting a little hot on the collar. Couple of rights and lefts of his own. Got him up for the atomic knee drop, but he hits the referee. Patterson catches the boot as the referee. The referee caught the boot. Looks like Patterson got a foreign object. Brass knuckles. Oh, he hit Backlund. And here comes the golden boy up the steps with the belt on the back of Patterson's head. And our referee is just starting to come around. And it looks like there's the bell. I think that the referee's going to disqualify Pat Patterson. And the winner by disqualification, Bob Backlund.
All right, we want to thank everyone this week on Legends of Professional Wrestling, Professor Toru Tanaka / Mr. Fuji. And we hope you enjoyed all those great things we had going, all the Mat Classics, all those great matches. You couldn't believe them. I'm the Boston guy, and right here with this camera right here, the Bruno Sammartino cam. Oh yeah, it took a lot of stuff, a lot of film, a lot of money from Beach Sales over here in Revere. Got a lot of money out of me with these 8mm. You know, the 50-foot roll that was in here only lasted about 3 minutes of roll, so that was all my allowance, you know what I mean? Hey, give me a break, you know, I was just a kid. But these films going all over now. We're going to try to get them from coast to coast, maybe get a film company behind me, but we'll see what goes on in the future. We're still waiting for the Bruno Sammartino biography, but, you know, those things take time, I guess. And, you know, I got to basically get out of here. I'm headed for the door. And I want to say thank you very much, and I want to give you all a great kiss goodbye.